Welcome back, guys, to Trails Through Daybreak, where last episode with our sweeps going on, we completed another 4 SPG, and now our sweep is nearly complete for our first night here in Basel, as we have just one more location to check out, and that is, of course, the Institute itself. So let's get moving on before we go to Auge Canyon and end the night with action, intrigue, because we're not really sure exactly what's going on in this place, apart from the whole,
Time to depart.
harassing professor thing, which we didn't actually put a lid on. And by the look of it, oh no, we can actually enter the Institute. It's just, we can't warp around much. Maybe we can't go in. Maybe it's actually closed. That's interesting. There was go to the go-to spots. It won't let us in the main building. Huh. Do you have business here at the Institute? Most of the students and staff have gone home already. Our security system is on night mode too, so you can't get in without special permission. Unless you already have clearance or your business is just that urgent, I suggest you come back in the morning. Okay. We're not allowed to... I do have special permission. Why don't you let me in? I've got a job offer for a certain other professor, and,
Well...
And if you let us in, I'm sure you won't get fired.
Alright.
Alright, there's no quests here, no 4 SPGs. We blagged our way in last time, why can't we do it again?
Whoops.
I would advise against entering the university at night. I mean, I'd advise going near any school grounds when you're past a certain age, to be fair, but...
Not this way.
But sweeps! I don't think that's a real... I think the police would arrest me. I don't think if I say I need to do the sweep tonight, the police would be fine with that. Right, well, we can't go into any institutes of learning at night. It is closed down. We move on, awkwardly, because we don't have to do a sweep at Basel Institute of Science. How do we go to Auge Canyon? We haven't actually worked out a way to walk to Auge Canyon. Oh yeah, we take the car. That makes sense. Drive to Auge Canyon, then I shall. I think we've done everything. Will this area do the trick?
Yes, it should be perfect.
What's that?
Parabolic shards expanded, initiating satellite communications.
Holy shit. Again. Some of our research was supposedly used in making it too. What is it, Theo? That wasn't what I thought it was it? A low-altitude communications satellite flying 900 cell off the ground under the Sea of Stars. One of the many cutting-edge orbments you guys are operating in secret, huh?
Indeed. Vern aided in its development, and the president of Calvard has given its use his tacit approval. As long as we continue reporting data on its usage, admittedly.
Sounds like him, alright. So this is how you report to HQ without the risk of anyone listening in?
That's correct. I don't believe communicating using Basel's orbital network to be safe at this point in time. As a Code E matter, the main AI in our headquarters will begin analysis and threat level determination as soon as it has received the proper data.
Must make things easy just having a computer do everything for you.
Something about that just doesn't sit right with me.
There's two sides to every coin, as the saying goes. Marduk ain't the only one whose tech level is off the charts. Hell, it's not even tech. Go to martial arts, magic and the like too. Genesis and Almata aren't much different. But whether something's above board or not, it all comes down to how you choose to grapple with it. You should try and keep that in mind.
Sure. Loud and clear, Professor Arkride. I was forced to grapple with that damn tyrant. I know what I'm doing on that front.
Yeah, I suppose you do. You don't mind me telling the other two all that's happened here, by the way?
By all means. Whether it's permitted under our company rules is a gray area. But that is the Arkride Solutions way, isn't it?
Look at that. Seems I can't stop rubbing off on people.
So I've noticed.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for bothering you so late. I thought you would be in for the night by now.
Oh, it's you. Wait. You may have seen the satellite from the observatory, yes. I was just calling to ask for your help with something. So over at the Institute not too long ago, we... Got it. We're meeting at the main gate, right? We'll be there in 20. We should grab small fry on the way there.
The preparations are coming along nicely. And this is going to be fun. Much as I wish we didn't have to leave most of the execution to that filthy worm.
He is an overseer much like myself. I am sure he will play his role perfectly. Just take care not to let the window of opportunity pass you by.
Who do you think you're talking to, puppeteer? As if I would fail.
This battlefield will soon be an essential part of the preparations for our endgame. I will be looking forward to seeing what you can do as well, Golden One.
I shall do whatever my contract asks of me. Farewell for now.
We know who they are. Why did we have to go back to descriptors like the one with boobs?
There you are. I'm glad you all came.
Yep. Hey there. Wait a sec. Haven't we met this chick? That's right. Earlier today.
Oh, I remember you too.
I wasn't aware that you had already met. This is Associate Professor Esmeré, another one of Professor Hamilton's students.
That's me! My full name is Esmeré Archette. What a surprise! So you are the problem solvers I've heard so much about. And one of you is just too adorable!
Ah!
Please, Essie, this isn't the time for that. I did tell her to go home, but she insisted on staying to help us.
Why must you be so cold, Quatre? I could never abandon my little brother in his moment of need.
Little brother? We're just students under the same professor.
What do you mean, just? Here's what you get for being so mean. Come here.
Stop that, please!
Man, think we can swap bodies for a sec, kiddo? Well, the more people familiar with this place that we have to show us around, the better. The bigger our group, the higher our chances of finding this intruder we're here for. That's true, I didn't see them directly, just to be clear. But Theo's sensors detected an unregistered individual entering the building. So they didn't use that stupid card again there. It's also worth considering that the security system used here is too advanced for just anyone to be able to slip through it. I would consider that this could be Theo's sensors malfunctioning, but as it is a drone based on Cypher technology, I very much doubt it. The reading is correct, I am sure. Well, let's see what we can do. We might find ourselves stumbling on clues we couldn't find earlier today, if we're lucky. We're taking you two with us, but just be careful, okay? We'll be fine, we have Theo and Zelos with us, after all. Let's get to work. Engaging search mode. Does not help against stealth foes? Wouldn't kill us to be more tense here. The Institute is so moody at this time of night. Oh, feeling scared? Of course not. A Kruger warrior would never be afraid of something like ghosts. I'm not remembering all the ghost stories I heard at school or anything. That would be silly. Alright. Small quantity of residual shards detected. Shards? Here? So someone used their cipher here. Let's have a quick look around just in case.
That dining hall's a bit suspect, but first things first.
What's the first thing? There's a blue marker up there, as well as the hall we are looking at.
Whoops.
Can't leap.
Whoops.
Don't worry, I disobey all rules. I don't know what you're talking about. I can go wherever I want. Is this the window we've been looked at?
Residual shards detected.
These readings are a little denser than before.
Does that mean we're not alone?
Guess I wasn't imagining things.
It's just that it's the creeper window. The cafeteria is empty, huh? Phew, I can't sense anyone here either. By the way, was that green-haired girl the only one left in the building when we got here, apart from our intruder? Not quite. Professor Cronkite already returned home for the day, so he won't be here. But there are also several security guards along with Professor Callahan and his assistants. Oh my god. I tried calling out to them from the other side of the door, but they were too focused on their work to notice. Focused, you say? No surprise there, I guess. Well, let's just put them out of our minds for the time being. Professor Hamilton's students sure are an eclectic bunch, huh? You included. I don't want to hear that from you. Still, I think that just goes to show how open-minded she is. She doesn't care about race, upbringing, or anything other than finding the good in everyone, then working to better bring it out. Everyone knows her as the mother of the Orbal Revolution, but even to this day, she's striving to develop technology to help those in need. On top of that, she's kind, considerate. I've never met anyone like her. She sounds amazing. She was the one responsible for reviving and expanding Farbad's Oasis too, wasn't she? I can really tell just how much you respect her. I could never not respect her. This feels like... So the house we visited earlier today is where Mr. Salizion and Professor Hamilton live then? That's right. The professor took him in 9 years ago and he's been living with her since. The two of them, along with me and Professor Cronkite, are like a family now. So that's why people call him her favourite. If she left the country 2.5 years ago, however... That's right, he puts on a brave face, but he misses her so much. She's off trying to solve the problems in the East, so there's no telling when she's going to be back. The story about closing down the observatory seemed to come about because of me and Professor Cronkite too. But he never confided in us. Instead, he tried to fix the problem all on his own. And Professor Cronkite's really busy at the moment, so he can't be around very much. I just wish I could pick up the slack and support Quatre like a real big sister should. Kiddo's got a plan, huh? He's trying to sort out that problem down the mine alone too. But he's at the kind of age when kids want to act older than they are. Better just leave him be if you ask me. Perhaps you're right, but being there for one another is what families do. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Oh? Did you find something, Zeros? Guess we better give it a look. We sure didn't find anything downstairs, though, so I'm not getting my hopes up. I agree. Let's see if we can find anything. Well, there's a person in one of these rooms. Yes. Is this shit rough?
This robo-mud acts like a real-ass dog.
Doesn't it? I spent many nights coding the design so it'd perfectly replicate a wolf's mannerisms.
Leave it to the bioengineering department's rising star to go above and beyond.
You really need to get a life. Right.
Right. I guess we're not allowed to go that
Guess
way.
that's wrong.
I think they must try to say you're going the wrong way, idiot. Flippin' hell. AI is advanced. It knows things. There I was, thinking it was time to close for the evening. What's gotten into me? Well, the time will come eventually. Our closing routine is more complicated than you might think. We have to be real careful with the more important books in our archives. There's the security system, there's the underground storage, it's a lot to do. If you wouldn't mind steering clear, I'd appreciate it. No! I'm sweeping! Don't you understand how this works?
Oops, guess that's wrong.
Stop roughing at me. Well, interestingly, you'll let me go into this hallway. It's more interesting trying to find out where the bounds of things are, isn't it? Game tells me to go X. I want to go Y, Z, and A. See? Nothing here. Well, that's strange. Is this just standing in the corner or something? The door is ajar. Did it just open itself? No, that doesn't... Where are you going, Zeros? Huh? What is it, Zeros? There. Wait, was that... Whoever they are, they ain't just using stealth shards. They appear to be combining them with something else. Theo, we're going after them. Understood. We're going too. Wait for me! What if you use it with Ramda? Double layered. Heat signature detected. Zeros.
Wait! I surrender! I surrender!
A woman. She looks kind of familiar. And there was me thinking it'd be that kinky cat or someone from the mafia. Who's that? She must not be a member of the faculty then. Man, it did cross my mind it might be you, but I wouldn't have put my mirror on it. Of course, Van knows everyone. This here is one of Kincaid's subordinates. I don't think I ever caught your name. Does make sense you'd know him though. Oh, so it's the desk jockey's gopher, huh?
You watch what you're calling me.
Is this an acquaintance of yours?
I was hoping not to make contact with you while I was here. But I see I underestimated just how friendly you would get with the faculty here in less than 24 hours. I did hear you had a way of conning everyone you meet into liking you, Arkride, but you work fast.
I ain't conning anyone. I'm just that likable. Also, if you're gonna try to burn someone, maybe try doing it when you're not pinned under a dog.
You think I'm enjoying this? Just get it off me!
I can't eat another bite of Engadin. That's how you guys did the rounds. We sure did, though we may have overdid it a tad for it being our first day. But now I have a better idea of just what is happening in the city. You do?
My name's Kayla McMillan. That's my real name, for what it's worth. I'm a second lieutenant in the CID, and I'd prefer it if that and all we discuss are kept off the record.
I thought you were here on a job for Melsom. So the CID is also involved then? Yeah, we knew that CEO might try to hide stuff from us, so we kept one of our clients a secret. We just didn't expect one of their guys to use a mix of Cypher and Ramda stealth to sneak in here. Yeah, layering it makes so much sense. I apologize for the trouble I ended up causing. My intention was to investigate so we had a backup in the event you didn't succeed. I never expected to be found. Clearly I shouldn't have underestimated the Institute of Science's technological prowess. Theo is cool. Of course, very cool. I don't get it. Why sneak in here at all? You couldn't just let us do our thing. I assume she concluded that the current situation was too serious not to do anything. That about the long and short of it? The current state of the orbital network and distribution network is definitely a problem. I had them go down on me the other day too. We managed to get things running again, but it was still a big hassle. But just why is this happening at all? There's only one possibility that I can propose. That would be unusually intensive parallel distributed computing. I'm no expert in the field, but that's all that comes to mind for me too. Then we're of the same mind. I'm totally lost. Yeah, the hell are you guys talking about? Orbital computers have been getting bigger and faster over the past few years. And the bigger they get, the more orbital energy they consume. In short, yes, the larger and more complex the tasks you require of them, the more power they will consume. Orbitals regenerate orbital energy over time and don't generally need an external power source. That changes, however, when the amount of energy consumed vastly exceeds the orbital's ability to generate it. Yet if the orbital distribution network that serves as that external source is also heavily taxed, that leads to a temporary decrease in the amount of energy available and a spike in the amount of orbital network traffic. That theory alone would be enough to explain the issues you're here to investigate. Does parallel distributed computing really consume that much orbital energy? It's when you borrow the processing power of multiple computers through the net to do greater calculations, right? I'm impressed you know about such cutting-edge tech. Now, connecting a few terminals isn't going to consume much energy at all. But what do you think would happen if one were to connect all the terminals in the city? Then do you think hacking is behind this? The flow of the orbital distribution network looks to me like it's being manipulated. If you intentionally adjust its flow on an erratic schedule, you can make it seem like issues are occurring at random. You might even call doing just that my speciality, though I find this here to be a distastefully crafty way of going about it. Still, while it's possible on paper, I can't imagine parallel distributed computing taking place on such a vast scale. As for controlling the orbital distribution network itself, that's simply unimaginable with current technology. We still don't know all there is about orbital energy and how it works. Oh, but wait! Yeah, a situation mirroring that unimaginable scenario happened not all that long ago. It was around the most recent occupation of Crossbell. There were miracles and calamities born from large-scale distributed processing that should have been impossible with our current tech. So impossible that I never thought the same could happen here in the Republic, even if this is on a smaller scale. Indeed, we analysed the situation ourselves at Marduk and reached the same conclusion about what happened. Risette. That confirms it then. She finally clues us in. I've heard some about what went down in Crossbell, but if this is the same as that, well, that spells trouble for us. Right, and this isn't the first time we've run into something connected to that whole incident either. Don't know if they're deliberately setting out to replicate Crossbell's deal, but there's one thing we need to get cleared up right off the bat. We've got to assume someone's out there trying to do research they shouldn't, that can only be done with parallel distributed computing. So the question becomes, who is it? What's the point in asking a question with only one clear answer? Professor Callahan. Just what does he think he's doing? He's changed a ton over the past few years, but I didn't think he was up to something of this magnitude. This number belongs to...
Is that you, Salesian?
Professor Callahan, what's wrong, sir?
I'm so sorry. I screwed up. Please, stop this. They want my...
Professor Callahan? What just happened? He's in the special research building, right? We must hurry. How did we not hear it from here? Sounded like a... Ooh. What? Damn. Professor, where are you? Professor! What? Just what is going on here? Professor Callahan has gone missing, and you're here with some evidence that he's been abusing his power. Even the police and guild have barged into the institute wanting to question me. You people have been here for a day. A day! Are you some sort of plague being brought down upon us? It's not their fault. This is Professor Callahan's problem. No, it's all of our problem. Quatre, don't act like you didn't know about assistants being harassed left and right. Just what did you want me to do about it in my position? It's not my place to say anything about his research. I'm sure that is one of the difficult things about being a joint venture group funded by multiple investors. But I also imagine the benefits outweigh the difficulties. Anyone could see that the professor was on a rampage, and the problems with the orbital network and its distribution are just as clear. Let me just shoot straight with you. Was that professor linked to any strange groups? You know, like the Mafia or anything? I'd like to believe that he wasn't, but I can't say for sure. It's pretty normal for the Institute of Science and Verne Company to accept outside funding. In other words, the ground is fertile for corruption. And I can't write off the possibility of all those new terminals he suddenly had on him. Stop this pointless conjecture. You have no evidence. If rumors like this were to leak to the public during such a crucial time, how about acting like a leader for once in your damn life? These youngsters were hired so the police and the guild wouldn't have had to get involved. And while we sit here scrambling for answers, who knows what Professor Callahan is up to? Tell me, is there ever going to be a better time than now to step up as CEO, Bill? Supervisor. Fine, I'll tell you everything I know. But please, keep this just between us. Of course, our team always keeps matters like this confidential. We're contracted with one of your biggest shareholders, the Principality of Alsame. We have nothing to gain from hurting your image. And everything to gain from earning some brownie points with Verne. Professor Callahan first began to change around a year or two ago. We'd received a request from the Republican Army to develop the next generation of weapons, something he excelled in. But when the time came to propose ideas he lost in his own field, Professor Cronkite's was accepted. I knew that was it. Ever since, he's been doing research on his own like a man possessed. I don't know what it is he started researching, but whatever it was, it required an immense amount of capital and manpower. There came a point where he started seeking out every sponsor he could. Then half a year ago, I heard a place called the Ankerville Company offered an unprecedented amount of money. That name. So it got caught in your information network too, eh? Don't tell me this is the same thing as in Longport. Indeed, the Ankerville Company, much like the Mezzledam Trading Company, is also one of their shell corporations. Who are we talking about? A certain mafia. They're called Almata. They're on both the guild and the police's radars. What? Professor Callahan was involved with people like that? I've heard the rumors. Been expanding their territory an awful lot of late. Just how the hell could you have overlooked something like this? It's not my fault. I only got the info the other day. What else could I do? Do you know what could happen to me if I put a pause on research for the Mafia? Think about the poor assistants who ended up helping them without even realizing it. So after losing against the genius professor, he started focusing entirely on his own research. I bet that he's sticking to his same field of expertise. And if the Mafia has invested massive funds into his work, I have a bad feeling about this. A really bad feeling. The network delay that dropped down to 0.35% has gotten worse again as of this morning too. That makes it highly possible that he's continuing his research in another location. Just where on earth could that be? Sounds like we got a good old-fashioned manhunt on our hands. We're going to be combing through this place way more than what we did yesterday. I take it there are no objections? I don't like it, but I know it must be done. Better give our cards the proper ranks then. Fine. Give me your cards. What is the top rank? S? Rank B, the certification level you mentioned. Yeah, that one almost never gets issued. I'm not trying to bitch, but may as well just give us rank A at this point. Don't ask for the impossible. Besides, we'll be able to get around much better than we could yesterday with these. Let's get to work. Time to get one over that Mafia.
I have a favor to ask. If at all possible, do you think I could accompany you?
Oh?
As Professor Hamilton's student, this situation with Professor Callahan isn't entirely unrelated to me, and I very much consider it my job to do something about it in her stead. Please, let me come with you.
Quatre. Yeah, that's fine with me. But just to give you a heads up, our work takes priority. That means you're going to be tagging along while we take care of business. That going to be a problem? You mean like yesterday? That's fine. I wouldn't even mind helping out if there's anything I can do. Well, we're counting on you guys. I'll reach out to my contacts and see what I can dig up while you're at it. And just don't do anything too crazy, okay, Quatre? Don't worry so much, Essie. I'm in good company. But whatever it takes, I'm determined to set things right while she's not here to do it herself. I know. I'll start talking to any dealers who supplied Professor Callahan with parts. If I hear anything back, I'll let you know. Take good care of the boy. Yeah, you got it. By the way, Agnès, it glowed last night, didn't it? It did, yes. Most likely at the same time as when Professor Callahan's final transmission went out. We're getting close then. Yes, the last time the Genesis glowed like that was... what are you talking about? What's the Genesis? Don't worry about it. Work stuff. I'm sure we'll fill you in eventually. I hope you don't mind, Quatre. If you say so, it must be something that could take a while to explain. So where should we start? If possible, I'd like to first speak to Yang. You would better know him as Professor Cronkite. The guy our missing professor had beef with, right? Yeah, I bet you know a thing or two about his research. Sounds good to me. Plus, I think it's about time we have a little talk with yesterday's client. The anonymous one? Not so anonymous to us at this point. Come on, let's settle the score. So we'll be making the rounds through Newtown, the artisanal district, before heading to the Institute of Science. That sounds perfect. Then may day 2 of our work begin. Quatre has joined the party. And before we continue on, because it's been plaguing my brain in turn of English, if an intelligence group is harassing you in a sense, the phrase is coming down on you, not going down on you. I did read that right?